Hey guys, what's up? It's Coin, and today I want to talk about two big topics that have been floating around. The first one being PvP in the wilderness, and the second one being a little bit about real world trading and stuff in the game. Now, to start on the first topic of the wilderness and PvP in general, it's become more of a prominent topic of Jagex has asked, should we allow non-PvPers to vote in PvP polls on one of their live streams recently, again for like the 20th time. They keep throwing it out there, and they were talking about like some PvP stuff and with some PvPers, and they were like, well, no, people who don't PvP shouldn't be allowed to vote. And the problem with that theory is that if you're trying to get the wilderness to grow and stuff, well, the fundamentals of the wilderness are already self-imploding. To be able to basically backstab somebody in this specific area, and all you have to do backstab them is to get them to go into that area, that makes people who don't want to risk getting backstabbed not want to go into the area. Now, it's always a choice and stuff, but as Eliop said, you gotta keep your friends close and your enemies closer or whatever, so you can know when they're doing something in the wilderness and go try and kill them, and then they know that you're in the wilderness, and so they're gonna, you know that they might come try and kill you, but then now you're realizing that like this friend is actually bringing like 50 people to try and kill you. It's not just them trying to like be like, yo, I'm gonna come have a tussle with you or anything. It's, I want to take your stuff because you feeling bad is so much greater of a pleasure than me and you having a like fair tussle. And that's the problem with the wilderness, is that it promotes unfair gameplay, so people who don't want to play unfairly don't want to go to that area. Now, I do think they can add updates and monsters and stuff to the wilderness, and it will become like more active for a while, and then eventually it will die out again. And the bigger they make it, I think the more dead it will seem, especially if they add like a whole nother like 30% section to the wilderness and a whole bunch of stuff up there. Then the mid levels of wilderness are probably going to seem pretty dead. You probably always be able to use an alt to scout for KBD and stuff, but I don't think the wilderness is necessarily the pivotal PvP system of RuneScape. I think that the PvP system expands very far beyond just the wilderness and fighting other people, and I think the PvP arena is definitely the first steps to getting to a position where you have people train up their accounts so that they can compete in the high-level PvP, and whether that be individual or team-based, it can grow from there. And I think that the PvP arena is a very good setup for the potential future of PvP. You know, 5 years from now, nobody might care about the wilderness because we've got $700,000 PvP tournaments of 3v3s of the best 16 teams of RuneScape PvPers in the world, duking it out for a $700,000 prize pool in a game mode where it's very controlled, and you know, you have some limited options, but those limited options make it different than everybody else, but it's still a fair game mode, and all of that good stuff. I think that is the real direction that PvP and RuneScape is going, and I, as somebody who does not go into the wilderness to PvP, definitely think that the PvP arena is more of designed for PvP that has the potential to grow the PvP system, whereas the wilderness, the system is built to erode itself until there's only a little bit left. Now, the second topic I wanted to talk about was real-world trading, and I know Otoblock just put out a video. He was watching a Crumb video on real-world trading and stuff, and the main thing that seemed like they were focusing on is that Jagex doesn't want real-world trading because it affects their bottom dollar to something like a degree of they could make upwards of $50 million if people spent money on bonds instead of third-party gold and stuff. And I think that this is a very small portion of the actual reason, not because Jagex just wants an extra $50 million a year or whatever. I think it goes beyond that to the point of, do you want to play a game, or do you want to have a game with like a regulated stock market and stuff? Because when you allow like real world trading, for instance, if Jagex says, okay, we allow it, the government's going to say, okay, well, this falls under currency exchanges now. How are you regulating it and stuff? And so they're going to have systems in place to allow players to safely do this. They're not going to be able to be like, yeah, we just let them do it at their own risk. Like, it's not going to fly for governments and stuff who will be looking to regulate how this currency exchange would work and stuff, because they'll see it as any other cryptocurrency and stuff. And I don't think anybody wants to really be giving Jagex like pictures of their IDs and stuff for hopefully them to keep safe. But that's the kind of thing that will be required if Jagex was to say, hey, you guys can real world trade if you want. It's just the fact of the way the world works now is that governments want to be able to track, like, if you're trying to hide money somewhere and stuff. And I don't think that's the kind of company Jagex is really trying to be. I don't think that it didn't work with Diablo 3 or whatever. They took that feature away because they realized, oh, there's so much regulation on our game when we try and allow this kind of thing, that as a gaming company, you can't let a game fall under those regulations, because otherwise you can't develop your game, because everything has to be in line with regulations. There's a lot of stuff beyond just Jagex wants an extra 50 or whatever $million from the third-party sites' pockets going into theirs. I think it has to do with keeping the company a gaming company still, and not falling under those overreaching regulations that would essentially fall on them if they did openly allow anything like real-world trading. Now, I know you guys all have opinions, so let me know down below in the comments, do you think the PvP arena has a better chance of creating growth for PvP? Or do you think updating the wilderness will grow PvP more? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think the main reason behind why they don't allow real-world trading is. And I'll see you guys in the next one.